Hey guys, this is Hetu and welcome back to ETL Labs. In this session, we will look at how to design the test cases, ETL test cases, which we have designed the mapping last time. I mean, just in previous video, we have implemented little medium level of complex logic that we have built, and now in this session we will try to see how I have written all those test cases and how to test them and how basically real time testing happens, right? So, guys, we will look at all of them, and this is also one of the requests that I should create this video. Basically, how to write the test cases, how to write the scenarios, etc., and what should be our approach to write the ETL test cases, right? So that is the reason I thought that I will cover this, and this will be really very helpful. And this is many are in many of the interviews you might face this kind of questions, right? What kind of test cases you write, and can you write the test cases and show me what all the things that you cover as part of your test case, right? So yeah, I think this is going to be very enriching session for all of you. Okay, and yeah, so let's start then, guys. Yeah. So what we will do is we will try to understand. So in previous session, what we have done is we have basically this is the mapping document, right? Or the data lineage, or you also called as STM, right? Source to target mapping, right? I mean, there are many names, but that's not important. The important is this is something that the sheet that basically tells how the source and the target are basically transformed, or how the source data passes through the transformation logic, and then what should be the target state of each of these fields basically, right? So this we have seen it already. I don't want to cover it basically. I just want to show it, right? So in previous session, if you have not watched it, please go and watch it. I have covered all these things, and also I have designed a mapping, right? The mapping or the I would say all the logics are implemented, right, in Informatica mapping. And these are basically few of the rules also that we have implemented, right? And these are the transformation that we have used. All right. So I'm not going to cover all of this. So if you are interested, you can go and watch it, how I have developed, and how I have mentioned, or how I explained all these things. Okay. Now coming back to the transformation mapping that we have done it. This is the mapping that we have done. Okay. Now from testing point of view, it is very important. So everywhere, guys, so when you say the testing, right, uh, it is very good if you understand what is the mapping logic and how the Informatica works, etc. But if you don't understand, I think it is also something that I would say that some of the companies also encourage you to do only data testing, right? So if you do not understand my previous mapping, I think this is perfectly all right. You can basically, so mostly the most of the time basically testers are need to certify the data, right? They, if they don't know, but they have to understand the requirement, then only they can write the test cases and validate it. They don't really need to understand how the coding happens, etc. Okay, but if you understand how to code and how does mapping logic, I mean transformation logics and other things work, I think that is going to be added advantage, right? And you really gain a good respect in your team, right? So even the developers will also, give you good respect, and then also your value is immense in the team, right? Because you know development and testing both, right? Whereas if you go for developer, they don't know how to test the things, right? They only do little bit of unit testing, but you know both the worlds, right? Then your value in the team is unmatched, right? So that's the reason I am telling that we should also know the mapping logic, etc., and Informatica transformation coding logic, etc., right? But okay, so that's not the topic. Now what I would like to tell you that how I have written all those test cases that I have written here. Okay. So guys, see here, this I have what I have written. The approach is basically I have to validate each and every column whether the column coming from source and going to target is having the correct data populated or not. Okay. So what I have done is, let's say, These are the direct mapping, guys. Okay, direct mapping, when I say there is no transformation, right? So cust ID, it is directly mapped in the sales general. Cust ID is coming from customer source table, and basically this is the sales general, this is the table, and this is where basically the cust ID is directly mapped. There is no transformation if you look at here, right? So there is no transformation, guys, right? Now, I mean, transformation logic, I don't need to write it here. I mean, I can keep it blank as well, right? I mean, not really required, guys. Yeah, but yeah, that's fine. So, what I have done is the direct mapping one I'm not going to consider. So this is also direct mapping, guys. Yeah, this is also direct mapping. There is some logic here in customer city that we will see. Yeah, and then product ID, product name, these are also direct. All right. This is also direct mapping. All right. Okay. Now, what is left, right? So these are the four fields which are basically left, and these are having some transformation logic. So which is, what is that? The customer first name, last name. So for all of these guys, you just have to check, source and target. You can actually, there are two ways to do it. One is you can basically do, you can run the minus query and you can validate it, right? Otherwise, you can also go and check manually. Okay, but I would not suggest checking it manually. When I say manually, for example, okay, let me do one thing, guys. Okay, so let me see if I have data already loaded or not. Okay, 1 second, guys. Oh, before that, okay, I think I should cover the test cases first. Yeah. So let's see. First, we have to write the test cases even before the mapping is, or even before the job is ready, right? So we have to write the test cases. So what should be our approach? Our approach should be column by column, right? So field level validation that we have to do first, right? So for example, I have not intentionally written here test cases, but there will be test cases for each of the column. Here, these are direct mapping. That's why I have not written here. Okay, the only logic part, because as I said that these are not the exhaustive test cases. These are some important test cases that you should know, and for you to understand that this is the kind how we write the test cases. Yeah. So let's see that the first one I would like to directly go and see, because here is a transformation logic, right? Customer first name, right? Customer first name. Verify customer first name for sales general and Delhi. This is the table, yeah, target table, okay? And this is the column that we have got, right? Now, what we have to check actually as part of this customer first name, this is the target field, okay? And the table in target table, check the data type and data size of the target table, okay? And source, in source we are getting cust name, okay? And cust name is the one from where we are basically deriving this, right? First name. So cust name, it is saying that the first part of the cust name before a space, right? So the cust name basically is first name space second, the last name, right? So first name basically we are taking it here. So this is the logic here, right? Now, what we have to do, we have to basically verify first the whether the cust first name, this is the target column name, and the source column name, this is cust name, right? Both are having the proper data size. I mean, basically the definition, right? Whether it is having proper or not, right? So this is what we have to check. So how do we check? Let's do one thing. Let me execute, guys. Okay, each of them. Okay, so what I will do is I will just go and run it, and I will show you. Okay, char def. All right. So customer is the table, source table. Okay. One second, guys. So this is the cust name, right? Cust name. What is the size? It's 40. Varchar 40, right? And I have to also check. Okay, I have to check sales general. Sales general. Oh, sorry. Sales general, let's say Delhi. All right. Where is the first name, guys? Here is the first name, right? And what is the size here? The size is 30. And the last name is also size is 30. Okay. Now, let's say if now, I mean, I'm just saying that this is wrong thing, right? In this case, your test case will fail. Why it will fail? Because the customer name should be 40 here, because here also we are getting 40. Though we are taking, first name and last name from the same customer name, But there might be chances that some people do not have the last name, so they will be having the first name, and that might occupy your 100, all of this, right? Means 40 character, right? So in this case, this test case is going to fail because we are going to verify whether the size, I mean data type is fine varchar 2, but the data size is here 40 in the source, and here it is target is 30, right? So that in that case, this is going to fail, right? So I am going to say this test case is failed. Okay, this is failed. All right. Now, actual test case, okay, I have to say the same thing, right? What I have to write here actual is the target data size is lower, lower, okay, than lower than source data size. Okay, this is what I have to say here, correct? And then I will say this is failed. Okay, let me put it. Okay, hope you are able to understand, guys, right? Second thing is validate customer first name data correctness using minus query. So this is something that we have to check the correctness. Okay. All right, let me do one thing. Okay. So let me explain you first of all, okay, how I have written. So this is basically for customer name. First thing, we are basically checking the schema of the first name that is in the target table. Second one, what we are trying to do is we are trying to see whether the data that is loaded in this customer first name is correct or not, right? How it is correct, how we ensure that, because we have certain logic basically, right? Because we have to take only first part of the name, right? And after a space there will be last name, right? So something like this. Let's say if I'm putting, guys, let me try to, okay, let me try to, okay, let me see. So I say Ramesh Podar, okay. This is so here. What is the first name, guys? First name is Ramesh, right? Ramesh, and last name equal to Poddar, right? So this is how it is, okay? But this is coming as a cust name, right? This is from the source. So customer name is going to be first name and last name. We have to just derive with the first name and last name from here, right? Now we have to verify whether derivation is correct or not, right? In that case, we have to do the data checks, right? How we do that? Let me try to run the query. If I have loaded data, or I have to run my workflow also maybe. Okay, there is no data, guys. What I will do is I will run my workflow. Okay, so this is my Informatica workflow. Okay, for that particular mapping logic. So let me run it and we'll see if the data is loaded or not. Okay, so okay, it has started. Because guys, I'm just running it also and I'm just validating the logics also, right? So then you will be very clear basically what I'm going to do it here, right? So it is still running. Okay, previous session succeeded, but I truncated the data looks like last time. Okay, so that's the reason it doesn't have data. The target table doesn't have data, right? So in my target, I will show you there are three tables. One is because router we have used here, and it is routing the Bangalore data into Bangalore table, Delhi data into Delhi table, and rest of the city are being redirected to default, right? So this is how it is working, okay, the router transformation here. Now let's, okay, let me go. Yeah, it succeeded. If I check it, okay, okay, so we have to see whether the data is loaded. Let's go to session log. Session log will tell you, right? So here I see the Delhi having one row and default having two row and the Bangalore table is having one row. Okay, and we have got 5 row from the customer table. Okay, all right. So let's go there. Let's try to run the query now. Okay, Delhi. Yes, guys, we got one row, right? This is how it is. Now we have to check whether the first name, that is the customer name, right? It is correct or not. Okay. Now what I will do is let me show you first. Okay, first name, cust, first name. Okay, customer first name is Mayank. Okay. Now if I show you Okay, if I, okay, guys, let me show you in the source, okay, what is there. Select star from hrdept dot customer, okay, where cust city equal to Delhi, okay. Let me see. Okay, I have got two record, okay, but there is only one record, maybe because of some filter or something. But if you see that cust first name is basically cust name, right? I will say here cust name. I will just take, just to avoid any confusion, cust name, okay. So cust name is Mayank Singh, okay, and here clearly see that Mayank is coming, right? Which means it is coming correctly because this is the first name only, okay. Now what we will do is we will, so this is for Delhi guys, right? And now we have another table also. So similarly what we can also do is we can also verify. So here I have taken mostly for Delhi here, right? You also have to verify for Bangalore and default tables also, right? Whether it is working fine or not. So let's say same question. What I'm going to do is okay, I can just check for Bangalore here, okay. I'll just check for Bangalore here. Bangalore. Let's see what is there in the source, okay. In source, I have Robert Andrew and Siddharth Raman, okay. One of them might get, the might get filtered. We will see that part, okay. But for now, let me just run it, okay. So here is Bangalore, BLR, okay. Yes, guys, see this is anyways not coming. It is filtered, but this Robert Andrews, right? So Robert is the first name, and it is coming correctly only first name. Okay. If I see the okay, last name we'll see later. Okay. Similarly, you can verify for the default table also. We have the default table here, guys, right? So this table name is default, right? So everything else here Andrew and Venkat, okay, from the default table. All right. So we have to verify here. I have verified only for Delhi. You can verify for all of the other target table also, and we have to verify because all the target tables we have to verify the column size, data type and data size, and this also. Okay. So similarly, how many target tables are there? We have to verify it. Okay. Now we will verify the similar way the customer's last name. Customer last name is okay. Sorry guys, I think I missed it. Okay, the very important one. The very important thing is we have to verify this because by looking at your by looking here we cannot make sure this is not having any white space or something, right? It might be there might be white space after Robert, right? In that case that is wrong basically, but we cannot see it here, right? Okay, so what we have to do is we have to run the minus query. Then only we will come to know whether there is a white space or not, right? So what I will do is let me take this. Okay, all right. Let me run it, guys. Okay, 1 second. Let me just paste it here, and then I will run this. Okay. So all right. Let me go there. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically run target minus source, which means target is obviously having less number of record after filtering and all. So let's say I have one record here, two records. So 1 minus 2, it will be subtracted and there will not be any output. Okay. So this is what I want to test it here. Okay. So let's run it. All right. Guys, see, no row selected, which means my first the customer first name, there is no extra data, there is no truncation or there is no white space, nothing, right? That's how it is giving you, right? If there is even a single white space also, there will be result displayed here. Okay, so we have to do target minus source. Why target minus source, guys? Why not source minus target in this case? Because in target we are anyways going to load lower record only, we are not going to load the more record, right? So sorry, there will be filtration etc, joining condition not meeting within your mapping logic, and then obviously the target will be having lower than your source record, right? That's the reason if I say target minus source, in that case I should always be getting the no record, no rows written. So what I will say, actually did as expected. Okay, I have to say as expected, and this will be pass. This is going to be pass. Okay, this test case is going to passed. All right, I will say it here. Okay, pass. Or I can say also passed. It's okay, no problem, whatever you say. Okay, so this is done. Now similarly, we have to do it for customer name as well. Similar way, okay. We have to check the data size, data type, etc. And then after that, we have to run the minus query. Also here also we should be getting the same only, okay. So I don't want to run each of them because these are the very similar only. Let's go to the customer city. In customer city, guys, what is the logic? Basically, there is some logic here in customer city. Customer city, there is logic that if customer city is blank, then use hard code as a Mumbai. Okay. So let me see if we have any city which is, you know, uh, which is blank or not. Okay. So let me see. Okay, guys. Okay. So HR, I need to mention here the schema. Okay. So there is one customer which is Venkat Rajesh and his city is blank right here, or I would say the null value, right? In this case, what should happen in my target? Uh, Obviously, this is not Mumbai, this is not Bangalore, this is sorry, this is not Delhi, not Bangalore. So this is rest of the city. I mean, it is other than that. So it will be loaded into default table. Now, as per logic here, it should be city should be hard coded as Mumbai if it is coming as a blank from the source, right? So this is very important logic as well, yeah. So what we have to do is here, let me run, let me see what is there in my table, okay, default table, default table, okay, okay guys, I don't want to take this, I just want to take everything, that's fine, okay. Now I don't want to take everything as well. I'll take customer ID and then customer city. I think that will be customer ID and customer city. Okay. All right. So customer ID 12. Okay. Now we will also see what is there in my source, right? And source also I have to check. Okay. Okay. Now in my source, do I have 15 here? Yeah. Customer ID 15 is there. And for this there is no city here, and then this should be actually Mumbai. So now you see here it is Mumbai, right? So this is how we have to check. Okay, what is other customer? This is 12 basically. So where is 12? Okay, Andrew Simon, right? And this guy is having London city as a London, right? London and any other city other than Delhi and Bangalore, we are everything will be redirected to the default table, right? Rest of the cities, right? So hope you are able to understand. So this is hard coded value, right? So this is what we are able to test it here. And what I have done is I have validated it, do the correction using minus query, right? So what is this minus query, guys? Minus query will also tell whether the things are. So here I have taken only few records, one or two rows only, right? And then you are able to understand. Otherwise, there will be thousands and thousands of record. Then it will not be very easy for you to understand. Okay. So we have to run all this minus query. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to filter only the customer city from the default table where the customer city is equal Mumbai. So I'll get only one row here in this case, and minus select, because this is the logic, right? So this is the source table, and on source table in Informatica I have used that is null, right? If it is null, then we have to verify, we have to put the city as Mumbai, hard code the city is Mumbai. So here is the logic, right? NVL. NVL is, you know, one of the function that is, this is an oracle, right? So NVL. So if city is found as null, then it will convert to Mumbai. Otherwise, if there is any city, then that city will appear. I mean, that city will be written. Okay, if only in case the city is null, then only Mumbai will be hard coded. Now, where where cust customer city is null. So what I have done is basically here, anyways I am taking the null value, right? The customer, and then I am running it. So if I run this query, I should be getting no record, right? Okay, one second, guys. All right, so let me run it. No rows, right? Now, if I want to show you what is the output of this, okay, this is coming as Mumbai. You see that? Okay, because this city, right? Okay, if I say here, cust ID, cust ID, okay, customer ID and city. If I simply say cust city, in this case, see, cust city is blank, right? I mean, this is null, right? But in the second one here, cust city is blank here. But here I have converted this. If it is coming as blank, then put it to Mumbai. So that's why it is Mumbai here, right? And so if I perform the minus query, it should be giving, I mean, this is the target minus source, it should be giving null value, and which is correct only, right? So this is how I have validated this particular logic. Okay. No rows return. Okay, let me put it. I mean, this is pass, guys. Okay. All right. And this is as expected, right? Okay. Sorry, guys. 1 second. I'm not going to execute each and everything here, but I'm just wanted to show you. Okay. Now, one more important thing here is related to total sales, right? Total sales amount is also coming with some formula here, right? How to validate that, right? So it is product unit into sales quantity, right? So what I have done is I have again we have to check this field size and etc. This is normal only. Now uh, since this is a derived column, we have to check the data model basically. We do not have the data mapping sheet or something. We have to check what is the total sales amount, because this is only available in target. Okay, this particular column is only available. There is nothing in source, right? Because this is derived value. So to test this, we can just check the data model, what is the size they have defined here, and then this is the test case, right? So validate the total sales amount data correctness using the okay using minus query, right? little bit of uh, little bit of complex, guys, but it is not too much complex, I would say. Okay, I will say here. Okay, let me just okay, this is the so what I'm doing is I'm basically selecting product ID and total sales amount from the sales general. This is the Delhi table, right? And this is having only one record, and I am actually taking the product ID and okay, if I show you here what it is giving, right, you'll come to know. All right, so okay, let me run it. Okay, okay, all right, guys, this is giving you Mumbai. No, 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 not okay. I think I should be copying it and let me run it. Okay, I am getting 1001 as a product ID and total sales amount is 80,000, right? This is what I am getting, right? Now, if I run this query, okay, which basically I have tried to join multiple table. This is the part of logic, right, that we have done in Informatica. But then same thing I have written in SQL, right? So this is the reason I am saying you should be very strong in SQL so that you can write these complex queries, right? Okay, so and okay, let me run it and I'll show you. All right, guys. Okay, sorry, it's not coming. Okay, guys, you see the exactly same output I am getting right here, because this is the logic that is implemented in Informatica. So what is that logic, guys? We have to basically get the product ID. This is simply we have to actually join three tables. Okay, one is the product table, second one is the sales table, customer sales table, and third one is the customer table. Okay. Now what I have done is here, I have basically joined here, right? If I show you here, right? So to get this particular value, what I have done is I have I am taking this from where product table, and this is from the customer sales table. Okay, but there are some filters also which I am using the customer table. Okay, customer ID basically. Okay, so now if I show you here, okay, here, okay. So if you see the condition, customer ID, we have joined, okay, these two tables, and these two tables are joined based on the product ID. And the third thing, third condition that we have put is the customer should be, city should be Delhi, right? So this is what, because we are actually talking about this, the target table, which is, sales general Delhi table, right? That's why I have to take the city also Delhi. And then when I am actually joining these three tables and running this, I am getting this correct result, right? Now, if I run this minus query, obviously it will give you minus zero record, because why it will give you zero record? Because exactly same records are there in both the tables, right? That's why it will give you zero. See, no row selected, right? So this is how you have to write the query based on, you have to understand basically, right? And believe me, guys, this will come very, 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 naturally once you start, doing this. And other thing I would like to say that please, please try to, get more and more hands-on in your SQL, because SQL is very, very important, skill sets for any ETL tester. SQL and any scripting language, as I said, Unix, Linux, or Python, etc. So those are very, very important skill sets. Okay. Now, this filter, guys. Now I have to check this filter also, right? Now we are done, basically. Almost we are done. Okay, for the field level validation. Okay, these are the field level validation. Okay, so in field level validation, we are basically checking, first thing is the data type, data size, and the second one we are checking about the logic, basically, right? How it is transformed. Okay, if it is direct mapping, then you can just say that, run minus query between source and target. There is no mapping, there is no logic involved. That is also fine. I mean, but we have to validate that as well, right? So I have not covered it here. I have taken only which are having the logic, basically, just to show you, because those are the very easiest one only, right? The direct mapping one. Now we will check some logic. So one is the filter logic, right? Filter logic, whether the filter is working properly or not, right? So what is that filter, guys? We have to check the count, row count in the source, and okay, row count in the source, considering that filter is applied in my mapping, right? So for example, I will take this. Okay, I will see that how many rows I am getting. Okay, so if you look at this, it's very easy query. So I'm getting just count from product, customer, sales, and these three tables, basically. Okay, where I am basically joining the customer ID, product ID, and then I'm talking about city as a Delhi. So I will take the target table which is related to Delhi, and then product price should be greater than, this is the filter, guys. You see, product price should be greater than 2000 rupees. Okay, so if I show you here this, okay, product with unit price less than 2000 should not be loaded in the target. Okay, so rather I can say it equal to, greater than or equal to, right? Because less than only will not consider it. Now if I run this, let me see what I am getting. So I am getting only single row. Okay, single row I am getting for Delhi, and obviously for Delhi we have only single row, right? So this is how we can check. Okay, source and target. Similarly, you can run for Bangalore, you can run for default, right? All those city. So this is how you can check it here. Okay, so filter logic we are covered. Okay, here we have to check source count. Base, I mean, basically it will consider what kind of, filter and other things you are applying, and then take the count. And target, it will be straightforward, right? Select count star from that table, particular table. It should give you the count, and then compare these two. Row count should be matching, right? Now the fourth thing is the router transformation also is involved here, right? So router is basically routing the data into all those multiple tables, right? So for example, Delhi data is, routed into Delhi table. So what I have to do, guys, as part of this, so if it is router transformation, and I have basically, okay, let me do one thing. Let me, I want to check whether all the Delhi's data are routed to Delhi table or not. Okay. So I have to say select star from sales general underscore Delhi. Okay. So I can see there is only one row here. But then if we have millions of rows, then what we will do? I have to run this query, guys. Okay. What is that? Distinct customer city. It should give me a single row, Delhi, right? Otherwise, if there is any other row which is coming here, more than Delhi, any other value is coming, then there is definitely problem with your router transformation. Okay, guys? This you should note it. Okay. Similarly, for Bangalore also you should check. You should check. Okay, for BLR, let's say. I should get only Bangalore, right? Now, uh, default. Default should be anything other than Delhi and Bangalore because everything else will be coming into default. So in default, we cannot check all those things. We can just check in this. Basically, these things are, I mean, these tables are basically populated with correct value or not, right? So this is how you can check the router transformation. Okay, based on the city, then you have to check the distinct city. It should come only one value, otherwise it will be problem, right? So guys, this is what we have to check, and then when you start executing, you have to put the actual result and then pass or fail. If here, let's say it is failed right now, what we will do is we will go and we will raise one bug. Okay. So if you are using any kind of tool, defect tracking tool, for example, Jira, let's say, yeah, you go there and you have to just put all this description, what is the issue. You have to first fail that particular test case, right, in there, and then after that you have to provide the detailed screenshot, etc., that where you are getting. So you can actually provide the screenshot of your uh, you know uh, the database query also, right, that we are getting this and all. You can just highlight it and send it, right, and this is how you can raise the bug basically. Okay. All right, guys. So I think this, I thought that it is very important to, explain it. That's the reason I, I have done this video. Okay. And hopefully this is really making sense. And guys, again and again, I'm saying these are not the only test cases. Okay. You have to write the exhaustive test cases. I have written only for Delhi. You have to write for how many, target are there. Okay. Those many. But the idea is that you should write the row level validation and then after the transformation level validation. So these are the row level, I mean, sorry, not row level, these are the field level validation for each of the fields I have written. And then after that, these are the transformation level, yeah, the logic based, right? And there will be some more test cases that you have to, write. Some negative scenarios also you can write, etc., right? But yeah, that we will see it later. But for now, I think this was important for you to, uh, explain so that you will be able to understand how to write the ETL test cases, how to execute them. Okay. And hope this is really, giving you some better understanding in terms of ETL testing. And yeah, guys, do let me know one thing. Yeah. So what I'm planning to do is, because Informatica is such an important tool for any kind of ETL, either it is tester or developer, anyways, it is important, right? But then what I'm thinking is, what do you guys suggest that, I thought that I should, prepare some videos, okay, some basically the session wherein I will explain you the logics for each of the transformation, okay, separate, uh, how each of the transformation in Informatica is working. I will basically try to code and try to run and then show you how it works, right, and also how to test that, right, in the same session, because those session, if I am not considering the huge logic like this, then it will be, the session will be smaller basically. So do let me know in the comment section if you are interested to learn the Informatica, because that is also important, because wherever you go for interview, I think interviewer, if he has worked or Informatica, they will definitely go for the transformation logic, etc., right? And that is very important to answer. Otherwise, it will not be a good, impression on the interviewer, right? So Informatica is one of the powerful tool and very widely used in the industry basically. So if you know Informatica, then kind of you know the ETL basically, any kind of ETL. So Informatica is such an important tool. So do let me know in comment whether you are interested. So if you can just comment it yes, uh, interested for Informatica video. If you're not interested, then also you can comment it, so that what I will do is based on your feedback only I will try to do the future videos for Informatica, right? But yeah, so that's all I think for this session, guys, and hope I was able to at least give you some idea, some understanding how to write the test cases, etc., how to execute them, right? But again and again, I'm saying that please go and watch my SQL videos. I have put in lot of efforts, and I have made very easy to understand language. That those videos, I think those you should start from video number one and you should go subsequently, right? Because that will be the foundation. Okay. Otherwise, if you're going in between, then you might miss the concept. Okay. And for people who already know the SQL, they are good in SQL also, they will definitely find some or other concept in my videos. Okay. So please go and watch it. And because the SQL is very top important priority for any ETL tester. Okay, and even for the developer, no doubt, right? So that's all, guys, for this video, and thank you for watching. And yeah, one more request: if you're liking my videos, please do consider to subscribe it. That gives me some encouragement to come up with more videos. And yeah, I think that's all I had to say. And until then, I'll see you soon with the next video. Until then, happy learning and God bless you. Bye.